Good morning. All right, let's try this again. I started one of these and it got cut off. So today I actually had, it seems like a lot of you are auditioning recently. So I've had a lot of emails and messages asking to talk about auditions. I keep asking people, what specific questions do you have? And people don't even know where to start. So I'm going to give you a tip that I think is really important, and I definitely looked for when I was auditioning my riders or my instructors. Hey, Jeff. Know your audience. So what do I mean by that? So when you go to audition for a studio, whether you've taught before or not, you really need to understand who you're auditioning for. So every studio, every gym is vastly different. I'm sure you guys have recognized that as riders, right? You go to a Y and you take a class there. You go to a boutique luxury studio, take a class there. Vastly different experiences. So first of all, it's really helpful in that it'll teach you what you want. So if you start to understand the place that you're going to teach at, maybe you go ride there a bunch. I definitely recommend that. You definitely want to ride at the place that you're auditioning for before you go audition there. Ride there, learn their ride, learn their structure, learn their brand, right? Because every studio has a brand, which is important. It has to kind of be what you're looking for in terms of, do you want something super intense? Like a Barry's boot camp of spinning where people come and they want to be part of a little bit of a cult ride and it's, hardcore or whatever, or do you want something that's welcoming for all, a little bit more low-key, more about the community, etc.? You have to understand that before you go audition there, right? That's important in terms of how you teach and how you communicate, but it's also important for you. You want to teach at a place that fits your brand. Good morning, Teresa. So think about that. Ride at the place that you're auditioning for. Super, super important. Get to know the instructors, the brand, the vibe, all that good stuff. Learn the bike, right? Every bike is different. Are you using metrics or not? Is it rhythm riding or is it traditional? You guys will probably all have your preferences, whether you want to be dancing on a bike or whether you want to be using power and watts and training to metrics or some other kind of ride. Whatever it is, make sure you know what you want, because you don't just want to go teach somewhere just because it's a job. You want to teach somewhere that you're going to enjoy and it's going to be spot on to what you want. So understand all of that. Understand how the music works, what kind of music you should be using. Maybe you have certain kinds that you love to use and this studio only wants you to play hardcore hip hop or old school rock or whatever it is. Usually places don't dictate that, but there are guidelines around music. So understand that. Understand, are you going to be wearing a mic? How are you going to have like a fancy system? Are you going to have to use Spotify versus Apple Music? All of those little things definitely matter in terms of an audition, right? And again, matter for you in terms of whether or not you actually want to teach at this place. So I always recommend, even if you find it's not necessarily your vibe, the place you want to teach, go audition, because you never know, but you still want to know all these things before you go into it. And I'm happy to help. I do have a pretty booked up schedule with calls and projects going on, but if you guys have an audition coming up and you're freaking out about it, we'll get on the phone. I will make time for you. So let me know, and we'll talk about it. And that is kind of my big tip for the day. We can talk about more audition stuff if you have more questions. Pop them in the comments or message me and we'll talk about it. Have a great rest of your week, your weekend, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.